What up, dudes? Today we're gonna make a video all about the animals here in Southeast Asia. And animal abuse here is pretty bad. So the animal abuse in the UK and in America is quite hidden. The factory farms are kind of pushed to the side and you can't fly any drones over or anything like that. You can't even look at what's going on. But here, it's all in the open. Fields don't have fences around them. We can just walk right into this one. And behind you are some cows. And I just want to show you kind of what's going on here, because I don't think not many people really show it. And I have a lot of questions that I need answering, so. All the animals here, the cows, the goats, the horses, they're all tied up. So there's a peg in the ground and then there's a rope. How long do you think that is? Maybe 10 feet? Maybe like 10 feet of slack for the cow, so he can walk in a circle for 10 feet.
So what I'm trying to highlight here is that there's a rope threaded through the nose of the cow and then tied around his neck twice, and then that rope is then tied to the ground. So if that cow tries to escape, it'll tug on his nose and his throat. This cow here that we found was a really young cow, very curious about us, very friendly. What we found is that the baby cows, if they're with their parent, they're not tied up, but the parent is. Again, I still can't figure out why this happens. Why do the cows need to be tied up?
What's up? Hey.
All a cow does is eat grass. So whether it's tied up or not, it's still going to do the same job. That's why I don't understand this. And this is something I've only seen happen in Asia. In every other country, cows are free to roam fields. They can do what they like in that field. So whenever we found cows like this, all we could do is show them some love, because they probably don't get it enough. The cows are wonderful. They're just like big dogs. So for people to abuse them and tie them up, it's the same as tying up a dog and just leaving it in a field.
This is the first time we've come across cows that aren't tied up. That one's got the rope through its nose still, but it's not tied up. Like, they're all free to roam around, I guess. Why is that? Maybe because it has so many kids? Do you think anyone comes and says hi to them?
Probably not. I want to show them what love is before everyone's mean to them.
Yeah. Because the cow's on this rope, it can never be in the shade, so it's just out in the sun right now. If you look around, there is no shade for it. Nowhere for it to just hide. That cow's got some shade. He's just sitting in a bush. The biggest question is, the reason I'm making this is because I don't know why it happens. Google couldn't help me. Why are the cows tied? I mean, they're in a big field. All you gotta do is put a fence right there and then they can't really get out, if that's what they're worried about. So I said earlier that all you have to do is put a fence around the field and then the cows can't escape. This one has a barbed fence, but they're still tied up. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm making this video because I couldn't find the answers online on why there's a rope through its nose. All cows have it, everywhere we've been in Asia so far, and they're tied to the ground. Why is it necessary when they're in a massive field? Sometimes the cows don't have shade, this one does. It just doesn't seem fair, and they get bombarded by flies because they can't move and get rid of them. So many flies.
So on the small islands that we were on, there's not enough room for cars, so everything is being tugged by horses and carts. Mostly they pull tourists with suitcases, people that just don't want to use their own legs. Other horses like this one carry building equipment. I found this horse in the shade of a building and his back legs had been branded with an infinity symbol. So whenever these horses would run by us, all I could do is take on the pain as a horse. Because you just see into their eyes that they're exhausted, they're so hot and they're being forced to do things they don't want to do. We had to film quite discreetly here because there's like a horse mafia that kind of just sit around waiting for things to carry. So all these horses are just forced to just sit around for the entire day waiting for shipments to come in for them to carry. They don't get any water, they don't get any food, they're just standing around. Here you can see the horses showing some affection to each other.
What does that mean?
I mean, they love each other.
As soon as we started paying attention to this, the guy who was looking after the horse started coming over. That's him on the right there. Started coming over and he broke it up. He wouldn't let them show any affection to each other. They're treated as not living beings. They're treated as machines. And it's just not fair. Look at them all just on standby. Horses don't deserve to be treated this way. I also don't believe in riding horses, but to make them work and stand around really doing nothing, it's just inhumane. So on this clip here, we were in an island called Lombok. It's a much bigger island than from the last clips.
We don't know where this leads, but I like it.
We found a ditch that we had to jump across. And then we found a staircase going up into the forest. And we climbed the staircase, and at the very top,
Hey.
there were these cows just hiding. Very friendly, very happy to see us.
Hey.
So we decided to sit there with them. Why cows need to be tied up when they're on top of a mountain with a ditch, it really makes no sense.
You should try to untie him. No, like untie the thing from his head.
That's too much freedom. You don't know what to do with it.
Like I said earlier in the video, cows really only do one thing. They eat grass. So tying them up or having them untied, they're still going to do the same job.
So I untied one of the cows from this bush that he was stuck on. Here in Asia, they tie him up so that they can only walk about 5-10 feet in a circle. Steffi tried to untie it, but then I ended up doing it. So 1 out of 4 of them is free. And as a thank you, he just started licking my hand. Cows have got really bristly tongues as well, so it feels really funny.
Here we were just walking back home to our little hut. We found a goat tied up by his neck, sitting in the road. It had nowhere to go. The rope was about 6 feet long. It couldn't do anything. It had the option to eat grass or sit in the road. And when I went to go say hi to it, it just kept its head down. It was just sad. So this whole thing started off with a goat that we found on one of the first days that we were in Indonesia. The goat was in someone's garden. The whole family were there in their house looking at the goat. It had got tangled in the rope that was around its neck, so it couldn't move. Steffi and I tried to untie it, did not succeed. We actually made it worse. As the family just sat by and watched us do it. They didn't bother to help it. I made this video because there's so much abuse in Southeast Asia that no one's highlighting. There's a lot of work being done by activists here in the UK and in the US, but not in Asia. And I think Asia, from all the travels I've done, I think Asia eats the most animals. All I can say is, I don't know what to do about this. Making a video and putting it on my main channel seemed like the best idea. Because I've been to Asia 3 times now, and I can't just ignore it. I have to do something. I don't know how to fix everything, but for the horses, the only reason the horses are being forced into slave labor, the only way we can stop that is by telling tourists not to ride the horses. Don't get in the back of these carts. There's like a horse mafia. These horse owners, they sit together, wait by the port, wait for tourists to come in with big bags that they can ship around the island. So all I can say is, don't take a suitcase to Southeast Asia. It's not practical, it's not smart. If you're going to small islands and you have a suitcase, the only way you're going to get that through the sand and stuff is by putting it on the back of a horse. So that's one way we can stop it happening. The other way is just to just use your legs. Don't get in a horse cart. It doesn't make sense. The islands that we were on were so small that cars can't even be on them. That's why there's horses. But it's the same as the elephant thing. People are told now not to ride elephants because the elephants are treated really badly. Well, this is me saying don't use the horses. The horses are treated really badly. A lot of them aren't given water. They're not fed throughout the day. They're made to sit in the sun with the carriage on their back all day. You go down to the port and all these horses just lined up. The footage we have is kind of shaky because it's hard to film these guys. They're very intimidating and they sit and watch their horses very carefully. So that's all I can say is, if you go to Southeast Asia, don't get on the back of a horse. Take a backpack so you can walk with your luggage. If we stop giving them money, then they'll stop abusing these animals. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is a very different video from my main channel. I felt like because this has a bigger audience, I had to put it here so more people can see it. Please share the video. If you've got any friends or family that are going to Southeast Asia this year, send them this before they go. Make sure that they understand that you can't treat animals this way. I mean, they're not our slaves. We're meant to live in harmony with everything. It's funny, people don't eat horse, but they use them and abuse them until they're dead. So what's the difference? If you support this message, please give the video a thumbs up. That just helps it get more traction. Leave a comment. I'd like to debate what is going on in Southeast Asia and all around the world. Just leave it in the comments. Animals are being used for all sorts of things. A lot of it isn't being highlighted, so that's why I made this. If you want to check out any of the vlogs from our time out in Asia, I've left links to Steffi's channel and my second channel in the description. Please go check those vlogs out, they're really great. Subscribe if you're new here. Bye bye.